Okay, good day, everybody. My name is Almami Adikalikama. Today, we'll be looking at how to write a chemical formula when the formula is being given in a form of word. Like, for example, if you're asked to write a chemical formula of water, meaning the word water will be given to you. You have to write it in the form of their symbols, which we refer to as a chemical formula. Okay, now let us just see an example here. I talk about water. Okay, you have water. First of all, you have to understand that what are the elements that are involved in this water. Okay, you have to first of all identify these elements before you start writing the chemical formula. Okay, first you identify the elements, second you identify their valencies, and you do a cross multiplication, and then you have the chemical formula. Now let us just see. You have H in this case, you have O in this case, which is hydrogen and oxygen. Well, you first of all also identify their valencies. The valency for this hydrogen is 1. Okay, and the valency for oxygen is 2. Okay, now you do a cross multiplication. These two multiply by this and this multiply by this, you have H2O. Now you combine, you have H2O as the chemical formula for water. Now we have 6 examples that we'll be looking at. Of course, the first one, we have sodium oxide, we have aluminium oxide, we have copper 1 oxide, we have iron 2 chloride, we have magnesium nitride, and we have sodium sulphide and lead 2 bromide. Of course, all these ones that I have named, they are binary compounds. These are binary compounds because they only involve 2 kind of atoms, meaning different atoms. Okay, you have 2 elements of different atoms. Okay, so now we start with sodium oxide. We have sodium oxide. Okay, of course, for this sodium oxide also, you have to first of all identify the symbols of this element. Okay, after which you try to identify also their valencies. Now you do a cross multiplication for you to understand how to balance this, how to write a chemical formula. Now we go again. For sodium, it is Na. Of course, it is the Latin name for this sodium because most of the elements we use their first 2 letters or the first letter of the name of the element. But some of these elements, like for this sodium, lead, silver, mercury, we use their Latin names. For this sodium now, it's Na. Of course, we have oxygen, which is O. Now the valency for sodium here is 1. The valency for oxygen is 2. Here again, you do a cross multiplication. You have Na2 and O. When you combine now, you have Na2O. And mind you, when you're writing this chemical formula, you have to be mindful of the uppercase letters. Okay, the uppercase letters, because for example, if you write this as Na2O, of course this one is not a chemical formula because this oxygen should be uppercase letter, meaning a capital letter, like this. This is the correct one. This one is not a chemical formula. Of course, we take another one again, which is aluminium oxide. Say aluminium oxide. Okay, we have aluminium oxide. In this case now, we also try to write the symbol for aluminium and also the oxide. Okay, so we see the Al and the O. But you know, for aluminium is the element that belong in group 13, from the periodic table. Okay, so the valency for this aluminium is 3 and the valency for oxygen of course is 2 compared to this. So we have here 3, we have here 2. So you do your cross multiplication again, you have Al2 and O3. When you combine now, you have Al2O3. This one is aluminium oxide. Okay, so these are part of the example that we are to solve. We have solved 2 examples because this one is just a test case. Now we have another one again, which is copper 1 oxide. We have copper 1 oxide. In this case, for any compound involving a number at the middle, just after the metal, because in some cases just after the metal you have a number, and that number represents the valency of that element or the metal. Of course, you know these transition metals or elements, they have a variable valencies or a variable oxidation state, meaning they can form plenty valencies because of the reaction of the d orbital and the s orbital, the 3d and 4s orbitals. That's why these elements have variable valencies, in exception of zinc. Zinc only have 2. Like for this copper, you have copper 1, you have copper 2. But in this case now, since you have copper 1 oxide, that simply means the valency of this copper is 1. So now we write the symbol. You have the Cu, we have oxide. The valency here is 1, here is 2. You cross your multiplication, you have Cu2 and O. When you combine now, you have Cu2O. This is what we refer to as copper 1 oxide. Okay, copper 1 oxide. So see, since you have seen the way I'm writing the chemical formula for this one, please take your time and solve the remaining. I will post them at the screen of this video for you to be able to understand how to go about in writing a chemical formula. If these compounds are given in a word form, you have to try to write their chemical formula. Mind you, you have to understand that this one is for binary compounds. Our next video will be on writing a chemical formula for oxo ions, meaning the radicals, and we have the radical part, we have the metal part. Okay, our next video we talk about that one. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Almami Adikali Kama. Bye bye.